and now I'm on a better trajectory to get there and get there faster and get there with less pain and less headache than if I was just out in the woods on some Rambo by myself trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And that's how a lot of rappers be. Like, I don't need nothing else. Every time I'm with you, yo, it's something else. It's a fact, and it's nothing else. Got your hand out, you don't even need help. Oh, I don't need nothing else. Every time I'm with you, yo, it's something else. It's a fact, and it's nothing else. Got your hand out, you don't even need help. Oh, that's right. I don't need nothing else. That's right.
King's Dream Entertainment.
So my question was in terms of like investing, like what, because I know as artists we have a lot of areas that, you know, we need to like focus on as far as social media, music, mixing and mastering, marketing, merch. So like what would you say is like the top or some top areas that we need to like invest the most in as an artist to get a return?
That's a great question. I believe that every artist, this is just my opinion. Some people might disagree with me, but I feel like every artist should have a reasonable home setup, home studio setup. Ideally, have your own microphone, your own interface, your own laptop, your own DAW to be able to record yourself. It's twofold. One, it'll make you more productive. Two, it'll get you better, faster. And three, it'll make you more experimental, which will allow you to get into different tones and different pockets and try to sing and try auto-tune and just stuff that you wouldn't necessarily do when a producer or an engineer is there and you're on the clock paying for studio time. I really cringe when I find out new artists are paying for studio time. Like, I just think it's mad counterintuitive, especially in this climate. So I think having your own setup, I'd say, is number one. I would say number two, in my opinion, would be to then learn the basics of that setup and figure out how to do a little bit of mixing, understand the basics. What is deductive EQ? What is compression? What is gain staging, right? The very like rudimentary, and just start trying to learn to mix on the very basic level. That can come through YouTube, an investment of time, or if you have access to a great engineer, that might mean you pay him for some of his time. Ideally, he has the same program as you, and maybe he even creates a template for you. So instead of paying that engineer $200-300 a mix, you say, hey man, like, can I just get some of your time and you make me a template for my voice, for the texture of my voice, and then they build you a template out. And that way, even if he's going to mix stuff for you, you can pass files back and forth easier. They're already organized the way he likes them, but it at least gets you off the ground and going. I would probably spend money on something like that because now you're paying for an expert's time. So it's part coaching, it's part like a template type of thing. So I think that's super powerful. Every artist I've ever worked with, I've always created a template for their sessions, and we've always used the same DAW. And so then that way, when we go back and forth and we're sending files back and forth, it's already organized the way I need it to be organized. You know what I mean? If I'm mixing the music. So I would say that's a really good investment. And then I would say third, probably a DSLR or a GoPro or something, just so that you can get to shooting better photos for your Instagram, shooting some little videos, shooting some stuff. So that might be upgrading your phone to the newest iPhone to get the wide angle lens. That might be getting a little GoPro. That might be getting a DSLR. I've done all the above. I tend to upgrade my phone every other year just so that if I need to vlog on the go, I can. I'm about to get the new GoPro 8 with the media mod and the screen flip around, just so I could have that as an option. So I would say camera, and those would be the top three things. Do you want me to go specific, like more specific than that? Like, am I hitting any of the things you're thinking about, or are those like you already doing those things?
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, as far as the home studio, already have that.
Okay, you already got the home studio.
Already got the home studio.
Do you have a mixing template? Do you have a template from that you, every time you open your session, it's the same way, and you're approaching it the same way, and you might even have some presets in there? Do you have that?
Yeah, I just got a template like in December last year.
Great, you did it yourself, or someone helped you
from an engineer.
From an engineer, perfect. Okay, boom, you did the first two things. Kudos to
you.
All right, camera. Do you have?
Yeah, that's something I need to
Okay.
invest in because I still got like an iPhone 6.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. So the next step would be upgrade your iPhone and or upgrade your camera. Probably both, because you want to be able to do stuff run and gun on the go, and an iPhone is great for that. Um, and then I would say getting a camera, a DSLR, something with that's good in low light that you can get that bokeh. The bokeh is just like the face is in focus, everything behind you is not in focus. It's just how we naturally see things. So like my face is in focus to you right now, but that backdrop is blurry. That looks good to people's natural perception, right? And the thing about
Right.
iPhones is they don't necessarily create great bokeh unless you know how to like get an app and customize the settings. I would say after that, then it would be a matter of like investing time and learning the equipment. So maybe I would spend a lot of time sitting down with professional video guys and just trying to learn as much as I can, and like asking questions and showing me stuff. I'm in a spot now where I could actually shoot a music video and it's pretty good. I definitely can edit a fire music video. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like you should be able to do that. The big idea is like how dope would it be if you could do so much of your own stuff that you get popping on your own and then attract the people that you need to be on your team? Like that's the big idea, right? So everybody's waiting for a team, but what if you learn the basics of video, hand the camera to somebody, but get your video super fire and you're releasing a video every other week, and then eventually you could even get paid to do other people's videos, and or because you're popping and you're growing, you'll attract people to help you because they see you moving and they see you doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? So so I would say the video is huge right now, man. I would say that video component is huge. The time you get from professional creatives is massively important. The time you get with engineers, professional engineers, the time you get with video guys, photographers. So every time I would pay somebody for a video or a photo shoot, I would be trying to learn. I was learning. I was sitting there watching them. I was trying to understand what f-stop was, what you know what I'm saying, ISO was, like shutter speed. I was trying to learn as much as I can because I was paying for their time and their services, but I was also paying for an education. So I would say the fourth thing would then be like figuring out how you can pay to be educated in the things that you're passionate about. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what that would look like for you. I would think that it's tough just because there's not stuff like that happening in the CHH space outside of like our community, but like I think like again like the communities that like Brandman Sean and Curtis King do, like I think that stuff is super valuable. And I talk to Brandman Sean a lot, like just to talk, like just try to understand and learn more. I'm kind of in a position where I have some relationships there, but I think like basically mentorship, education, that would be the next one. You know what I'm saying? If you can narrow down mentorship and education, that's going to take you further by just having somebody that you can go to that has gone where you want to go. Because if you want to go somewhere, so it's the same thing for me, and I talked about this on the video yesterday, like I want to get to a single-digit body fat percentage in my fitness. Very difficult to do. Very, very few people get to it. So guess what? I hired somebody that's done it multiple times and has helped other people do it multiple times. And now I'm on a better trajectory to get there and get there faster and get there with less pain and less headache than if I was just out in the woods on some Rambo by myself trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And that's how a lot of rappers be. Like a lot of rappers are just like, I'm just, you know what I mean? Just by myself trying to figure it out. And it works if you have great taste and you have natural, just raw amounts of talent. But the truth is, most of us need community. Most of us need a mentor. Most of us need people to coach us on. You know what I'm saying? Or like we get the best out of ourselves in that regard. So some form of education, I would say fourth would be some form of education. Maybe that's a Udemy class. Maybe that's you connecting with other people in this community and just building relationships and chopping it up. And just, I spend a lot of time just FaceTiming people. Like literally I'll meet somebody and I'll just stay in touch with them. I'll just FaceTime them and just tap in with them. Like I spend a lot of time relationally connecting with people. You know what I mean? And every time I do it, it allows me to serve. And every time I do it, I learn something and I walk away more inspired and I get one little tactical nugget, you know what I'm saying, from it. And so relationship, community, coaching, some of that may cost, some of that may not cost. Some of that may be trading services, bartering. You know what I'm saying? There's a local influencer in Miami. He's super popping. He wants to get his Instagram lit. You take him out to shoot his photos once a week, and in exchange, you get to sit with him, and he gives you game on business. Like that, it could work like that too. You know what I'm saying? But bartering is huge. So, yeah, man, it's not always about a transactional thing. It's not always about like go hire a coach. You know what I'm saying? Though I do think that when you're paying somebody for something, you tend to take it more seriously. Once I started paying for my trainer, I took my training way more seriously because now I got some skin in the game. It's not just me going to the YMCA and watching Athlete X video. Now I'm paying for this. Now I got to justify this expense. I better be eating. I better not be cheating on my meals. I better be eating. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so I think there's psychologically that degree of sacrifice, unless you're just a complete idiot with your money and you just don't care. But most of us tend to be pretty frugal with how we spend our money, and we try to, you know, if I'm going to spend a couple $100, like I'm going to do my best to get that return out of that investment, you know?
Exactly.
Was that good? Is there anything else that you kind of like that you feel like I'm tiptoeing around that I haven't addressed?
No, I think that was pretty dope. Definitely the mentorship side. I mean, I connected with Ray Rock. You know, he's on tour with Andy, so we haven't really been able to chop like that. But that's definitely somebody who, you know, I'm definitely studying under and got a lot of value under. And,
so that would be somebody that I would either be bartering with, like trading services with.
Yeah, we are.
And or paying monthly to just to have access to him. You know what I'm saying? And that way it's not, he never feels like he's doing you a favor. It always feels reciprocal and you guys are adding value to each other. But Ray Rock is a gold mine of information. And
Absolutely.
he is extremely freakishly connected with everybody. That man's been in the room with Kanye, Justin Bieber, you know, your pastor, right? Like everybody, and he maintains just people just like that dude. You know what I mean? So he's extremely resourceful in so many different ways. So that is somebody that, like, yeah, he's in Miami. Like, man, one of my dreams is like to freaking fly Ray Rock and like get him a job in California just so I could like spend more time with him because he's very helpful.
Right. The wealth of knowledge.
Yes. That was a great question, man.